What is your name and what is your background with strongman competitions and powerlifting?
My name is Curt Fox. I'm 32 years old. I have a background in both powerlifting and strongman, mainly powerlifting. The majority of the years I competed were in my teenage years and early 20s. I don't anymore, but I stay involved as much as possible by coaching.
As a retired powerlifter and now coach, what advice would you give to someone wanting to train?
I would advise them to learn the mechanics of the lifts very well, know well the anatomy of the body, which is engaged, which is important, what supporting muscles are important to be trained along with it, proper nutrition, rest, recovery, that sort of thing.
Nutrition and eating is essential for building muscle mass. What kind of diet plan would you recommend, and what struggles and successes have you had with diet?
I've found that really having a balanced diet in general is key, and that's sort of a cliche term, but the importance is the quality of the food you're taking in. As far as carbohydrates, not sugars, but rather the complex carbohydrates such as whole grains, potatoes, that sort of thing. As far as protein sources, there's several out there. The key is using lean protein sources, lean beef, chicken, fish, and other meats like that aren't fatty. And as far as fat intake, fat's sort of a bad word, it seems, in American vernacular, but you want to ensure that the fats you're taking in are good fats, which are the essentials that are abundant in fish and nuts and things like that.
How do you feel about organic food versus traditionally grown foods?
I wouldn't say that I'm an expert on that exactly, but I would imagine that the less chemicals in the food, the better. As far as if there's much of a difference, I'm not sure. I know it's very pricey to eat organic.
The competitions are broken down into challenges. Can you explain the challenges and tell us a little bit about your strengths and weaknesses?
In powerlifting, you have 3 lifts to perform, and it always goes in this sequence: the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. They have people divided into weight classes, not unlike you would see in wrestling, and basically the person who squats the most, bench presses the most, and deadlifts the most, or has the highest total, wins the competition. There's a certain strategic element to it. A lot of people are good in just one, some are good in 2. The best of the best are good in all 3. They're kind of, the lifts can be contrasting. Personally, I was always good in the squat and the bench press, but I was never quite a very good deadlifter. So I had to plan for, during competitions, even if I was way out in head as far as subtotals from the squat and the bench press, there might have been some freak who was a great deadlifter who could, overtake me in position. So I had to kind of hope for a better than average performance.
Now that you're coaching, what is your practice philosophy and how do you manage discipline in workouts?
Well, my practice philosophy is just being accountable for being here. If you're a team member, you're here not just for your own improvement, but for the improvement of the team. I advocate that they learn, and that they learn some of the life skills and life lessons that the sport can teach them. In the sport, you either accomplish the lift or you don't. It's very absolute. It's not unlike a lot of life's lessons. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you have to ultimately be accountable to that. And it's some of those life lessons that I try to infuse with the sport, and that's my coaching philosophy.
What's the difference between coaching boys?
The biggest challenge with coaching boys is getting them to overcome their egos. A lot of times they're like puppies, where they have all the enthusiasm in the world. They They want to go out and they want to do it all, and they want to do it all right now. And in powerlifting, they want to oftentimes attempt certain feats of strength that they're not quite ready for. Really, with boys, you have to teach patience. If I coach a boy who is impatient, he ultimately leaves powerlifting season being a little more patient than what he was before.
What are your struggles for teaching girls?
A lot of times it's making sure that they're mentally and emotionally into the moment when it's time to train. You have to dissuade them of being caught up in a lot of their day-to-day dramas that happen. You know, when one of their friends didn't talk to them, or somebody deleted them on Facebook, and they're all in a tizzy. Detail perception, you only have to show them things once.
What are some of your significant moments and memories from your days in competing?
I had the chance to both meet and compete against some of the best of the best. It's a thrilling thing when you shake the hand of Bill Kazmaier, who is, arguably the strongest man ever. Get to learn some of these people that have been at the forefront of the advancement of the sport. Just the relationships you build, and some of the funny stories that happen, and some of the camaraderie.
What would you like your athletes to remember most about you and your coaching style?
I would hope that my athletes would remember me by coaching them and teaching them in the life's disciplines as life will hand it to them. I hope that somehow, some way, that this production aids anybody who's willing to go into teaching or coaching of any sort. I hope that it's informative for your audience, and I thank them ahead of time for watching.